Hey, what's going on, guys? Today we're checking out a recent release from the A.T.K girl line. This is the set of black-white Impermanence, and this one's quite unique because it is, in fact, a set of two character kits here in one box. Now, we've had other releases where you get like two bodies, but it's like two different versions of the same character. This is two different characters, so it's a two set. They are a bit more kind of chibi in their styling, but a really cool, really unique looking set here that I'm very much looking forward to checking out. For today's video, let's go ahead and get right into it. All right, so before we get into the contents of the box, I just want to take a moment to appreciate this box art. It's really nice. You have that gold for the printing down there. Really nice character illustration here on the front with that moon and then the black and white characters right there. And then what's cool is that if you go on to the end of the box, on this end, you have the black character. On the top, you have the white character, so those are opposite. And then here on the side of the box, here we have some actual images of the kit, and this would be showing off some of the different face option parts, some of the different weapons and accessories that you have with this, some of the gimmicks just in terms of like the posability of the character. And around on the other side, as you might expect, the same thing here for the white characters. So we're gonna have different facial expressions and everything for both of those, and just kind of some different options. So those look really nice. And as you can see, it's a pretty big box too, obviously with it being basically two kits in one. You could expect that we're gonna have a lot inside here. Let's go ahead and crack this open. First off, right off the bat, you can see we are going to have some included display stands, which is nice for those. A bunch of clear parts, a whole bunch of runners, and stuff inside here is our face option parts. We'll take a look at all of that in just a moment. I want to check out the instruction manual here first. And inside here, we actually have some other cool features as we have a couple of cards and some decals. Let's actually check these out. So the decal sheet is quite large here, as you can see. And this is basically just going to be decals for the eyes for the two characters, and then some other decals like blushing cheeks, mouth decals. And then you do have some markings here. Not too many, a few of those, 7 and 8, it says on there, and then a few other additional eye decals, I guess just in different colors, maybe if you wanted to opt for something a little different. But yeah, then we do have these kind of like sort of collector's cards in here as well. The backside is the Endless Night. This is like kind of a sub-line of the A.T.K girl series, this Endless Night, and you can see these are number 13 and 14 in the line. Here we got a little bit about the characters, or I guess I should say not really too much about the characters, but some additional character illustrations there, kind of profile images, illustrations of them. So pretty cool. But back to the instruction manual here on the front inside pages, we got just a bunch of images, a lot of which is similar to what we saw on the outside of the box. You can see some more sample poses and everything there, which is cool, showing off again some of the accessories and gimmicks and everything. We've got the parts list on the next page, and then in the construction. So I'm guessing we're just going to build one, then build the other one. And if we go all the way to the end of the manual, we got, like we saw on the front inside page, just more images of the kit in different poses, shown with some of the different accessories. Quite a lot of different accessories included with this, like the lollipops, and they have like a sword, umbrella, different things like a little cup and all kinds of stuff. So it looks like we're gonna have a lot of various accessories included with this one, which is cool. And taking a look at our two bags full of face option parts, and also looks like our hand parts are in here as well. We'll take a closer look at these in the review, but there you can see our small hand option parts there for the characters, and like our face option parts, all of which seem to be really nicely printed on here. The quality of those looks good. And in the other bag, I'm curious to see what this clear blue thing is in here. Just some basically clear blue effect parts there. So rather than putting those on the runner, I guess we just had these out separate for that. So very interesting, a whole bunch of face parts, including a bunch of blank face parts too. So if you didn't want to use the pre-printed ones, you wanted to use the decals and put your own decals on there, you've got a bunch of blank faces too, which is really nice. All right, getting into the runners, basically, as you might expect, we have a lot of doubles of everything. So here's runner A1 and A2 for some joint parts there in skin tone. And then we've got here runners H2, H3, and runner Z1, just basically going to be some clear parts here for like, this part's actually, some of these are for the actual accessories, and some are just going to be for the stand base there for that. Runner A here is some more skin tone parts. We've got two of those. Runner B, a big runner here. We've got one in white and one in dark purple, again for each version. Same thing here for runner C, one in purple, one in white there. For runner C1, we have one in dark gray and one in a lighter gray. Especially notice how the chain is molded onto here. So that'll be a functional chain once you cut it off, and it'll be able to like hang loose and everything. That'll actually be really cool. Runner D, we also have in two colors. The runner is going to be slightly different. One is in purple, one D1 is in red with some little bit different option parts on there. Runner D1 is just a few more parts here in purple. Runner E1 going to be our hair parts here, so some are going to be in light pink, some are going to be in light gray. Runner E1 here, some more hair parts in dark brown. And then we've got 2 of runner F here in a plated gold. Again, the runner is going to be slightly different, with some parts being copied and some not, but this plated gold does look really, really nice there. And the last few runners are all going to be kind of small. We've got 2 of this G runner here for some more parts in white. And then the G1 runner, we've got some more hair parts here in blue. Runner H1, some clear blue parts there. And then some clear red parts and clear green parts on runners, another H1 actually, and then another H1 over here too. But some more clear parts there. That's it for all the parts. As you can see, quite a bit of stuff in there. We're gonna have some nice options and accessories included with this one. It looks quite interesting. Let's go ahead and get it all built up and we'll check it out. All right, and here are the 2 of the kits all built up on their little mini stand that they have there to stand on, considering that the feet are just kind of these little stumpy kind of feet. But the kits look great in terms of the parts, the details, the color separation, everything, and we've got a lot of really great accessories in here as well, which is really cool with this set. I gotta say, the overall design in terms of like the face and the proportions, I wish was a little bit closer to the box art, because there's this little bit kind of uncanny valley to them, I feel like, and had the proportions been a little bit closer to what we see like in the artwork, I think that maybe would have helped with that. But still, really, really cool set, and just the whole concept of this set I really like. That the fact that we're getting 2 characters in the box here, kind of opposite characters, and then we have some really nice, like I said, accessories for these as well. So let's get into it here, starting off talking about those. All right, so we're gonna start off with the black version first, as that's what we build first in the manual. And the first thing is we have a couple of different hair options. So you can have, this is what's like kind of the main one, and this is our alternate hair part that we can use. And here you can also see 2 of our optional face parts that we have here. Here's also face option part number 3, and then face option parts 4 and 5 just for this one character. So we're gonna have a lot of face option parts, which is awesome. And then on the note of hair options, you do have leftover parts in order to make the hair the same style as the white version, this kind of longer hair like that. And then vice versa for the white version, you can make this style hair if you wanted to. So you have all those parts in both colors, but for making this kind of blue hair, we only have that here. And I guess this would work for either version. It's just one option that you have for a hairstyle there like that in blue with those nice gold parts and other little bun parts there on top. Now going down to her arms, if you wanted, you have the option parts. If you didn't want to have this part here, like for covering the lower half of the arm, you can swap that out and just have the arm out here without that bit on it. And so it's just going to have the same gold kind of bracelet on it, but just a skin tone arm there. And then of course we got a bunch of different hand option parts, this kind of open outstretched hand like that. We've got some closed fists. We've also got some open hands here with a peg in there for holding your accessories. We've also got a little peace sign hands. And a couple more, we do also have a thumbs up hand and a heart fingers hand too. So that's a nice touch as well. And then we've got some regular holding hands here. These are going to also be for holding some of the accessories. So for some of the handheld accessories, we've got this kind of staff weapon here, which has styled like it's kind of like a bell there on the top and a skull in the front, kind of cool looking. And then got this effect part here for this. This is actually just gonna fit right here onto the front, kind of plugs into the eyes like that. And then it becomes a sort of skull axe here. It's pretty cool for that weapon. Then we've also got this mace weapon here with this chain. Very nice. It's just gonna fit in the hand. And this one just kind of going to hang loose, but you can use one of your accessories that we have for the base to hold that up, and I'll show you that here in a minute, but kind of cool. Almost sort of like, now that I'm looking at it, it sort of looks like a hawk almost there with the kind of hook bill and the big clear red parts there for the eyes. A pretty cool weapon there. And then going down to this base that we have here, so there's a little peg on the foot that will fit into this clear part to help it to stand up. That said, if you didn't want to have that little peg there on the foot, you have an option part here of that foot without the peg on the bottom. And then we've got this other skull head here with this clear part on the front. There's a peg on the back, and one thing that you can do with this is also we have an elbow joint part here for plugging this onto the arm to make it look like this is kind of like replacing her arm basically. And then there's a hard point in the mouth too. If you open that up, one thing that you can do with that is remove this chain from the handle, and then where it plugs into the handle, you're going to plug it into the mouth of this and have it looking like the chains coming out of the mouth of this guy, which is pretty wild. Or otherwise, you can just have this plugged onto just an arm of the base and just have it just kind of floating around, flying around like that. Lastly, then another accessory here for the black version only is we have this really cool umbrella. I kind of wish that the clear part was in a different clear color rather than just being plain clear, but still nice, cool design there for that. Nice added accessory. Now, for our accessories for the white version, like I said, you can make that same hairstyle that we have on the black version, but she has her own. Well, there's an additional option hair set here, which is this kind of like a cat ninja kind of styled hair with the red accents in this dark brown hairstyle. And again, here is two of our face option parts that we have for this one. You'll notice the eye color is a little bit different. Here's face option part number 3 there with this kind of spooky face. And then face option parts 4 and 5 here for the white version. I like the kind of like money signs, I think that is over here in the eyes of that one, so pretty cool. And then we've got some accessories which are going to be the same and some which are going to be different. So we still have the same like skull staff here with the bell head and the effect part for going on the front, which I guess is actually slightly different, and I hope that I don't have those reversed. Maybe I do, but there's one is kind of more scythe shaped. I didn't notice that until just now. These effect parts are a little bit different. One's like kind of axe shaped, but so you have two different effect parts there for those. Got the same kind of floating skull head here that you can once again, of course, attach onto the arm, or you can attach the mace into the end of there. Although she doesn't have that same mace weapon, what she does have is this sword weapon here, and you can attach the sword blade into the mouth of her floating monster head here if you wanted to. Otherwise, the sword is just going to be held in hand. Really cool that we have the red, clear red part there for the sword blade. That looks nice. And then once again, she has some of the same option parts like the skin tone arms if you want to opt for that, the same hand option parts, the same option part of having an extra little foot here which doesn't have the peg on the bottom. And then lastly, the additional accessory that she has here, and here you can see the peg in the handle of this flashlight is where these hands with the pegs are going to come in handy. And this flashlight actually does have a press LED in there, so it should, I think I might have to take off this top part here to press it, but you can, it did work when I tried it before. Let me see if it's gonna work. Again, it's just this little like, it's just attached to a little battery here and LED that when you press this down, there we go, it should light up, and you can have that on here like that as an actual like working flashlight, which is pretty cool. And we have an additional part here for this too. This clear lens part here on the top. Can swap that out for this one, which is kind of like a lighting effect kind of looking out of the top of there. And so when you do like this, and it's supposed to like meant to light that up, and so when she holds it in front of like this spooky face, it's gonna look kind of cool there like that. So one unfortunate thing that I got here in my kit is you'll notice this part here for the leg on the white version has this empty space in there that's not supposed to be there. So this is a mold defect, and unfortunately this seems like this might be a common mold defect. I'm not sure how many of you guys have maybe got this kit and built it and noticed that you had this same part also defective. Unfortunate, but that's going to take some putty and sanding and obviously some repainting to repaint that in white if you want to fix that. All that said, we do have some additional accessories which are shared between the two of them. These kind of like lollipops here. We have 2 in red and 2 in green. One of them has like a kind of spiral pattern, one is plain like that, and then again our green versions here, these all have the kind of golden handle on there as well, so those are cool. And then we've got 2 of these kind of plate dishes here, and this kind of clear blue leaf with clear red kind of mochi or something, I think that's supposed to be on there, that you can place on the top. It doesn't have a peg or anything, so you may want to glue that on or something if you don't want that to fall off. And then additionally, got 4 of these like teacups, and each one of the cups also has a hole in the side for being able to use those holding hands. And as you can see, 2 of them have clear green, 2 of them have clear red parts there to represent the kind of liquid inside. So for some of these accessories, just because they just need to kind of rely on gravity and just kind of resting on there, it's going to be maybe a little bit hard to hold like that, for example, but it's just a matter of posing them. And if you have some additional accessories like a kind of a table or something from a different set, or something that you can use maybe from one of the Sosai Shoujo Teian sets that you could use, that would definitely come in handy. Unfortunately, we don't have any kind of like furniture or anything included with this set. But as if all that wasn't enough, we do then also have a base. Now we have 2 arms here for holding up the character, and you have a bunch of different like parts for these. And those will hold up the 2 different characters if you wanted to have them floating or flying. Unfortunately, we only have one of this actual base plate. It would have been nice if we would have had more than one. And this is the little arm, which, as I was mentioning before, is going to be useful for holding up the kind of mace part here when you want to have it looking like it's being swung, flying through the air there. And so, all of that being said, I think as you guys can tell, one thing that you're going to have with this one is, with this set, is a lot of different ways that you can display this, and there's just going to be tons of options just in terms of all the different weapons and accessories. And you know, you have your weapons like the mace and like the skull heads and things that you can do with those, and then you have like your non-weapon accessories like the lollipops, the tea, the mochi, or whatever that's supposed to be, just kind of the food and the snacks. And you have like the sword and the flashlight and the mace and all this different stuff in here. So you've got just a ton of accessories with this set. So not only is it 2 kits in one box, but it's 2 kits, a bunch of accessories, and the stand in there. And so it's a really full set that you have with these. Really nice. And then they look great. Like I was saying before, the molding, the detail, the color separation on the kits looks really nice. The gold parts are a really nice accent. The only thing that is a little bit unfortunate for me is, like I was mentioning at the start of the review, I think there's a little bit kind of uncanny valley going on there with the faces. And I think just like the proportions of like the faces and the heads and the body, something's a little bit off that makes these look not quite exactly as good as they do in the box art, which is typically the case with a lot of these like Mecha Musume style model kits. Usually, of course, the box art illustration is going to look a little bit nicer than the kit itself, just because sometimes, you know, the finer details of the illustration don't exactly map onto like a plastic model quite exactly right. But in this case, really cool set. And aside from everything else that I've said about this, praising this set, another great thing about it is just the uniqueness of it. It's just unique that we have characters in a little bit kind of more different body shape, body proportions, being a little bit more kind of more chibi. In this case is something that we don't see a whole lot of. We haven't seen a whole lot of yet as of this point. I think we will see more probably in the future. As this genre of model kits continues to grow in popularity, I think we'll probably see growing diversity in terms of like the body shape, body style, and things like that. So really a very interesting set for sure. And I'm only going to be able to show you, you know, a handful of the poses that you can do with this set, but I think you definitely get the idea that there's a lot that you can do with this, having 2 kits and a ton of accessories in there. So definitely check it out, guys. If you have not checked out the A.T.K girl line as of yet, there's some great options in there, and this is certainly one of them. Let me know what you guys think about this set in the comment section down below. Are you a fan of the like different style of this one, the different proportions and everything, or is it something that you're not really into? And do you like the fact that this is 2 kits in one box, or would you have preferred them to be sold separately? I think that's something that maybe some people would prefer. I'm not sure, but you can let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below. And of course, if you guys want to check out some of these kits like this and many more for yourself, you can check the link in the video description right down below there, and that'll go to USA Gundam store, where we've got all sorts of great Mecha Musume model kits from the A.T.K girl line, Kotobukiya, Bandai, and more. So check that out. As always, guys, thank you so much for all of your support, leaving a like, making sure that you're subscribed, and all that. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Until next time, hope you all have a great day. Bye, guys.